Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about the saying, be the bigger man, be the bigger person. You know what I'm saying? In today's society, we always hear that a lot. You gotta be the bigger person, be the bigger man. You need to walk away from this, you need to walk away from that. So, understanding the concept of being the bigger man, when you look at it from a higher frequency, being a bigger man would mean that you have more wisdom, you have more knowledge, you have a deeper understanding, overstanding, outerstanding, understanding, all of the above, you know what I mean? So that means that being a bigger man wouldn't require you personally to walk away from every situation. You know, when they say be the bigger man, you know, be the bigger person, that means use your knowledge, your wisdom, and your experience, all of the above, whatever order you may put it in, you know what I mean? You use all of that in the above to assess the situation and then to respond appropriately. I know a lot of people in today's society have being the bigger man has to do with walking away from situations all the time. You know, oh, this person said something to me at work, so I'm gonna be the bigger man and walk away. And oh, this person did this to me at this store, so I'm gonna be the bigger man and walk away. Or they did this to me at home, so I'm gonna be the bigger man and walk away. We all walk, so walking away isn't always being the bigger man. It's always been that simple to me. So like, if you are walking away from a situation and it's quote unquote you feel as if you're supposed to be being the bigger man or the bigger person, you're taking the bigger position, you know, then you should not be left with a bunch of witchy shit left inside of you because you decided to be the bigger man. Usually when we step into that light and we're like, okay, well, I'll be the bigger man of the situation, it's usually not a whole bunch of extra ish that's put into it on the inside. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that sits and weighs on you for days and weeks and months and years. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have to get to understanding. Like, a lot of this be the bigger man talk, and if it's coming from the majority, you know it has to do with being submissive and complacent and not being a warrior, not using your throat chakra, not using your sensories to read the energy that's around you or the place that you're in. Like, a lot of it is used as another term. It's windy out here. Another means of manipulation. And we got the hellies. So, when you look at life and your experiences as far as being the bigger person of a situation, like addressing your parents for how they treated you or what you experienced, or just addressing for your role in being a child, you know, or your peers, your relationships, a spouse, you know, addressing these things is being a bigger person, is being a bigger man. You know, a lot of beings want us to always ignore things, but it has to be processed a certain way. Everything will not be looked over and brushed over. Yes, there are some shit that you will just be like, yeah, I'm a bigger man. Once you step over it, it's not really a whole lot of concern with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like if a child try to punch a grown man or woman, like, you're not gonna put a whole lot of energy or hours and all this time spent into talking about how this little being had almost hit you or tried to hit you. Like, it's not that serious. It's really not that serious. But when you understand the different levels of how they use their manipulation and using some of these words and terminologies, and then you have people at your job and people around you who say, oh, why wasn't you just a bigger person and walk away? Well, fuck them and fuck that situation or that job. You know, It's not me being a bigger person if I allow my supervisor to just constantly belittle me. It's not me being a bigger person if I allow my parents, to constantly keep me in this dependent state, or in some place where I'm feeling like I'm lesser of myself because I'm listening or believing into what they're saying, or any of the other beings around us. You know what I'm saying? So for me, when I hear that terminology, be the bigger man or be the bigger person, it's like, okay, let me make sure I use all my knowledge, wisdom, and experience to process the situation that I'm engaging with, so that way I can respond accordingly and appropriately. I'm always looking for the most healthiest and clearest means of communication, even with the witchiest motherfuckers, because y'all gonna have to wear that shit later on down the hall. You know what I'm saying? The same way we reap for putting that good shit out, y'all gotta reap for putting that other shit out too. I'm kind of near the airport a little bit today, and it's pretty windy out here today too. It is cold. It don't look like it, but it is. But I decided to be the bigger man, the bigger person. I'm like, I gotta get out here and still do this anyway. So to me, I could allow that other stuff to affect me and be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna just stay inside, or I'm not gonna do this or do that because of the weather and the wind and all these other things. It's like, no. You better find a way to work with it or work around it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a war going on out here, so we have to start doing an excellent job at breaking down these tactics that the opposition is using. The tactics that they are applying, the things that they are trying to do to us, because everything that they're trying to do isn't working, and we are pretty good defensively. So even when they try shit, our counter game is on 1 billion gazillion. We can make up our own words because we built like that. So it doesn't matter if you don't understand it or understand it. How you think words got here? But yeah, just being mindful. I didn't want to do nothing too crazy today. I was just kind of thinking in on some of the terminologies, is how they use it as really witchy and to keep us complacent or submissive, or just in a space to where, we don't really want to grow. Because if we're not growing, then we're basically doing the opposite of growing. What's the opposite of growing? You're not living, you're dying out. You know what I'm saying? It's like an apple that's already rotten. It's not getting any better. It's only gonna get worse. So you kind of have to clear that inside out. You have to get a better understanding. You gotta cocoon. There's a lot of things and techniques that we could do to kind of help put ourselves in a better energetic situation and space, so that way we can do more to help the beings around us. But just understanding, like, these tactics that they use on us is like, it seems really basic, and a lot of it you just kind of look past, like, and you just kind of go over it. But like, if I gotta walk away from a situation and I call myself being a bigger man, and then I'm still pondering on that situation 2 months, 6 months, a year from now, I wasn't the bigger man. That meant that I should have stood up and been the bigger man, but I wasn't. Something had me scared, fearful, or complacent. So that's why I'm still pondering on this situation. And I had a situation like a year or two ago where I actually tried this tactic out in real lifetime, and the shit works. The shit works. You have to be taking the steps and doing what you have to do to be the bigger man. Like, a lot of situations where I was silent or complacent at, the universe let me know, because it sat on me, and I would think about it and I'd be like, damn, I should have done this differently, I should have done that differently. When I get to those spaces of saying I should have done this differently or that differently, I know that was a situation I wasn't the bigger man. And that's just being honest about it, because it should have been done differently, So, and I'm not talking about like being a little kid and doing that shit. I'm talking about as a grown-ass adult. Yes, we do make mistakes, but we are way more aware, what's going on, even when we do make our mistakes, you know what I'm saying? So But when I did have that shit happen, right, and it pondered on me, because it was a bullshit situation like a year or two ago. Took somebody down the floor. We had just kind of been mingling down there for like a week or so, but I had ran into a situation at a gas station where a female had like said some weird shit to me. I don't remember what she said. She was like, she said some weird shit like fucking asshole or some shit like that. It was just something weird out the blue. And I just kind of looked at her, but the shorty that was with me ain't say nothing to her. And I didn't say nothing to shorty either, because in my world, I'm used to addressing men, and then if female is with me, the female addresses the female if any situations happen, because that's just how energies exchange, especially in my space, because I know how things can escalate. So I didn't say nothing. Then like the next week we took another trip down there. It was another being who had asked me if I was wearing my mask or if I could pull my mask up, because this was during the vid time. And they looked like they worked at the store, but they didn't. But when I thought they worked at the store, I was just kind of listening, because I just wanted to get what I had to get and get out. But I had a little attitude about it, so I just kind of pulled it up a little bit over my mouth. I didn't put it over my nose. The lady opened up the fucking refrigerator door to kind of get like a drink, a soda or a juice or tea or something. And I saw her do that shit. I took my shit right down. She gonna go through to kind of give me some goddamn explanation about how I'm hurting other people and all this other shit by not wearing my mask, and she's concerned for my safety and all these other things. But long story short, and I have to reframe that, because it wasn't a week after the other situation. It was about 6 months. It was a little bit, but I was still taking other trips to Florida. But the time difference from that situation where I didn't address the female to, it happened twice. It was 2 situations where I didn't address females when I was with that person, and I kind of felt guilty, and it kept weighing on me. So then 7 months later, when we went back down there, and then I ran into that lady that told me to pull the mask down, I addressed her. And when I say my fucking spirit felt so good and rejuvenated and just like, because I told myself, like, doesn't matter if it's a feminine energy, masculine energy, like, you go and get addressed. My spirit just wasn't having it, you know? So when I had the other situations prior, I thought I was being a bigger man. And the shit sat on me. It sat on me for months, because I'm like, damn, I got this other weak ass demonic little witchy entity beside me, and she don't even say nothing. Like, I don't give a damn what you said. You could have said anything. That bitch had 2 situations where she just shut the fuck up and ain't say nothing. Not anything. I don't like saying nothing. Not anything. She ain't say anything. So I was already telling myself, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to re-put myself back in the situation again, and then hopefully the universe tests me again. And I took the motherfucker back down the floor, and the universe tested me again. And I passed. So it's plenty of signs and ways that you know if you being a bigger man or not. And sometimes you will have to use this throat chakra, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't want to run it up too long, you know what I'm saying? You have to process and assess the situations to know if you're being a bigger man or not. Because they really could just be putting you in a pussy position, you know what I'm saying, a little weakling, so that way you're walking away like I was in my first couple situations where I thought I needed another female to speak up for me because she's a female. When all actuality, this is energy out here. So I'm going to address that energy appropriately as well too. So, and I passed my test, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to pass your test out here, you have to pay attention and be aware of what the fuck is going on inside of you and around you. You know what I'm saying? Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.